Everyone, I'm back for another video. Sorry that I didn't do a video at the weekend, but I had only just got back from holiday and I haven't obviously had time since. I thought there's really no point doing a SmackDown review when I'm going to do like a Raw review like the next day or so. So I thought I'd just like combine it and do them all together. So I hope you guys are all great. I hope you all had a really good week. I had a really great holiday, honestly. If you've never been to Cornwall before, or like especially like Land's End, you should really go there. It's amazing. I'll put like a few pictures up like while I'm actually talking about it, but honestly I've never seen like anything like it. Just like the coast, obviously, because obviously Land's End, you know, it's like right along like the coast and stuff, and it just looked amazing. The weather was great, and we just like walked for like, it must have been at least a mile like along the coastline and stuff, and it was just awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling about, you know, Land's End now, but it is really really nice. So if you want to go somewhere on holiday in England, then go there because it's awesome. Yeah, I'm not going to talk for ages about SmackDown because obviously there wasn't really a lot to report. Obviously, except for the fact that, as you guys know, Christian like turned heel at the end of the show. Obviously, he helped Randy Orton to beat Sheamus for the title, but then he hit Randy Orton with the title belt, therefore turning heel. So, to solve WWE's problem of not having enough baby faces, they turned Christian heel, which is ridiculous because now they have like Randy Orton as like the sole face on SmackDown. But whatever, let's see how they're going to get out of that one because it's going to make it really not very easy for them to like have like decent feuds and stuff when they've only got like one face, and that face is the champion, so it's a bit like great. So yeah, that's all I have to really say about SmackDown because the rest of it was just kind of dull, to be honest. So yeah, no, so on to Raw. Raw was alright. It just seemed like they were kind of using like a lot of the like back like around WrestleMania time when they had like a lot of like the older guys coming back in. Obviously on this show they had Stone Cold, they had Vince, they had like Booker T on it, and like I don't know, it just didn't seem to get like the crowd. I don't know whether it's just the crowd who were there or whether it's just because the like general audience these days aren't really that interested in seeing the older guys. But like obviously the start of Raw, obviously they were announcing who the winner of Tough Enough was, and it was Big Andy. I haven't watched Tough Enough, as you guys know, so I can't say if that they made the right choice with him or anything. But whatever. But obviously the crowd seems to be pretty happy, so I guess he is one of the favourite contenders to win it. Then obviously Vince McMahon hit him, and then Austin stunned him, so then he left the ring. So then it started like Raw off. Vince and Austin were just like in the ring. R-Truth comes out and he had to apologise for what he did last week on Raw, or else he wouldn't get a title shot against Cena. So he apologised, and he was all dressed up in some costume looking absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, Miz comes out and says that he deserves another title shot, and it's like, oh, this is like seeming really similar to SmackDown with Christian saying that he deserves yet another title shot, but whatever. Alex Riley comes out, he doesn't really say much, but then John Cena comes out and kind of summarises the situation by saying what's going on. The general manager of Raw sends like a message, but Vince doesn't give Michael Cole a chance to actually read it and just tells him to shut up, which is quite funny really. Obviously, yeah, Vince hasn't been on it for ages, so it was quite good to see him back again. He's not kind of, when he was trying to like make funny kind of statements, it didn't quite work, but you know, whatever. Yeah, so then he decides to make the main event of Miz and R-Truth versus John Cena and Alex Riley and Stone Cold Steve Austin as the Wrath. So that's, yeah, it's quite a long opening segment. I mean, like, obviously, I know they never put like an advert in the middle of like the opening bit, but it just seems to go on for like ages, so one of the longest ones they've had for a while. Santino Marella was in a match against Mike McGillicuddy. He wins with the Cobra. Yeah, I can't really say much else about that, to be honest. I don't like Nexus. I think, you know, CM Punk just needs to get rid of them because, you know, Mason Ryan's okay, but only because he's like a big guy and he looks like a powerhouse, but David Otunga and Mike McGillicuddy are awful. Man, remember that guy Husky Harrison? Thank goodness they got rid of him. He was absolutely useless as well. Women's tag team match, Kelly Kelly and Beth Phoenix were against the Bella Twins. Beth Phoenix went to the Glam Slam. I hope she gets another title shot and wins the title because the Bella Twins are annoying. I don't like them. Beth Phoenix deserves it a lot more than them. Right, this is really weird, right? I was on the way home from work yesterday with my dad, and we were talking about like wrestling and stuff, and I don't know if we were actually talking about wrestlers' theme music, and he was like, oh, I'll think of one, and he started singing like Kelly Kelly's theme music, and so hearing my dad going, hello, hello, and I was like, that is really weird, and then he was like, oh, I can't really think of anybody else's, and I'm like thinking, why are you thinking about Kelly Kelly's theme music? Which is a bit scary, but you know, anyway, moving on. CM Punk had a rematch against Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio won this one. It wasn't as good as last week's match, I didn't think, but it was still pretty good anyway. I'm guessing that they're like resurrecting this feud. Yeah, because was it last year's WrestleMania where they fought? Obviously, because they had like the whole thing if, you know, Rey Mysterio had to join Nexus, or obviously CM Punk when he shaved his hair. Wasn't that against Rey Mysterio? I think it was. So, yeah, seems to be bringing this feud back again, so that came around quick. Alberto Del Rio comes out to the ring. Is he ever going to fight anybody on Raw? He's just going to stand there like talking every week. But you know, so he asked Big Show to come out. But it's obviously just Ricardo dressed up. It looked quite hilarious, to be honest. But they used to do a lot more segments like that, like mocking people and dressing up as them. But obviously this one, it wasn't really that funny. I mean, it was alright, but they seemed to, the people back, like you know, like say like 10 years ago or whatever, they seem to pull off these kind of segments better than people these days do. I don't know whether people just expect more out of wrestling now. Like back then, obviously during the Attitude Era, it was a lot about the storylines. Like, you know, because my dad didn't like it so much. Well, he didn't really like WWE that much now. He prefers TNA. But he used to say back then, he's like, oh, it's always about like the storyline and stuff, which I guess to an extent was true. I know they had a lot more kind of I don't know, like a lot of the characters are really over the top, and they had like a lot more. They used to do a lot. It used to be a lot about the outside of the ring stuff that would build the storyline. Whereas now, I think they haven't got the people who've got the kind of right personas to kind of do that, if you know what I mean. So, and then because the wrestling itself kind of lacks, they don't have, like, the storylines aren't so good. And obviously, what I thought about this one is, like, with the pay-per-views and stuff, like, it seems to be that we just find out, like, later on, or, like, you know, later on in the show or whatever, like, matches that are going to be happening at the next pay-per-view. They don't actually build it in as part of, like, the storyline. So it seems a bit like, well, you know it's going to happen, but, like, you would normally always, like, the actual wrestlers would discuss it, or they challenge them, or whatever, but now they just come up and say, oh, we've just been informed that this match is happening, and it's a bit like, well, we didn't really see any build-up to that, so, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on about the negative points from the show. Zack Ryder is actually in a match on Raw, which is shocking, considering on his YouTube channel he's constantly just saying that he's never on there, and this week he actually was. The crowd was just dead there. I thought they would have been more, considering how many, like, Zack Ryder signs there normally are in the crowd and stuff. Well, I know he picks them up on his YouTube channel, he shows them on there. But you'd think that they would be more, making more noise for him, but I guess it just depends on what audience is and how many of them actually do watch his YouTube channel. I don't really know. But he didn't really get that much of a big cheer, to be honest, and I'm sure at the start of it, Michael Cole called him Zack Ziggler. I might have, you know, misheard that, but I'm sure that he did. But yeah, so Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero were on the commentary, and it was just awful to listen to. It just wasn't funny at all. They were just talking about Twitter, like, the whole time, and it was like, hello, there's a wrestling match happening. I'm just talking about Twitter. But yeah, so anyway, Kofi Kingston won match with a boom drop and then Trouble in Paradise. Jack Swagger earlier in the show challenged Booker T to a match. Obviously Booker T hasn't actually wrestled in a proper match. Obviously I know he's in the Royal Rumble, but he hasn't wrestled in a proper match for about 4 years in WWE. He didn't get that much of a reaction, like I was saying, you know, about like the older guys. I suppose whether it's because Booker T, everyone kind of knows him as a commentator on SmackDown, they don't really see it as a big deal that he's actually wrestling, but I thought that they would have been a bit more, you know, like behind him, you know, like cheering him and stuff, but that didn't really happen. Jack Swagger left the ring and Booker T won by count out, which was like a bit like, okay, let's see, oh, sorry guys, oh. But anyway, but then obviously as Jack Swagger's like going up the ramp, Evan Bourne comes out and attacks him, gets him back in the ring. Booker T hits a scissors kick on him and Evan Bourne hits the airborne. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. And then the main event, obviously, like I said, Miz and R-Truth against Alex Riley and John Cena. Austin as a referee. You know, back and forth match generally. I didn't really write any notes about it because I couldn't be bothered. But then Alex Riley kind of goes outside, he gets the briefcase, he still has that one even though he's not with Miz anymore. He still has that one, and he looks like he's going to hit Cena, but then he like changes his mind, or not changes his mind, but then goes and hits Miz. Austin hits the stunner on him, and then John Cena hits the attitude adjustment, and obviously he pins him. It's quite funny. Obviously he did get like the 3 count, but I think when Austin like kind of, he dived down, so he was by like, you know, Miz's shoulders, and he didn't actually count 1, but I think Cena thought that he did, so technically Cena got off and left the pin where Austin only got to 2, which was quite amusing. I like, you know, probably the actual audience didn't really realise that at the time, but I wound it back and I was like, wait a minute, he only actually counted to 2, and then Cena like broke the count. But you know, that's just a little small detail, so yeah, never mind. But obviously then after the match, the GM of Raw like said that because Austin interfered, the decision will be reversed, so Miz and R-Truth actually won, but then Austin just got Michael Cole in the ring and hit him with a stunner and poured beer on him to end the show. So yeah, that was that. I think it's getting a bit dark in here. So I look awful. I got sunburnt really bad while I was on holiday. I don't know, you probably won't, the camera might not pick it up, but hopefully it won't, for my face is like bright red and disgusting. So yeah, so if I look bad today, that's my excuse. Yeah, so that was Raw. It was okay. The build to Capital Punishment hasn't really been that great. Obviously they're building, you know, I know they have been kind of building, obviously, Miz and Riley, and Cena and R-Truth, but it's just, oh, I don't know. I seem to think lately they very rarely have like a one-on-one match as like the main event or whatever for whatever feud they're building up. It just seems to be tag team match after tag team match. I don't know if anyone else has picked up on that, but it gets a bit boring. Like, you can always, from the opening segment of the show, you can always determine what the main event is going to be based on who's standing in the ring, and it's a bit like, oh, another tag team match, it's getting boring now. But yeah, so that's what I thought about Raw. So I finally got to 300 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who subscribed to me. I know 300 isn't an amazing number, but to me it is, because to be honest, like I've always said, I don't think my videos are that amazing, you know, like when I talk about wrestling and stuff, like I just say exactly what I feel. I don't get involved in any of like all the drama and stuff and all the shooting on people that other people in the like wrestling community on YouTube do, to be honest. So I get like views just for me rambling about what I think about the show, so that's quite impressive. Well, I think that's impressive for me anyway, because I really don't expect that many people to watch my videos. So thank you to all of you, especially those of you who've like subscribed to me from the start and who like always comment on all of my videos. You guys are awesome. But obviously to all my new subscribers as well, you know. Hopefully you'll continue to watch my videos and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. My mouth really hurts, it's not good. Anyway, yeah, so I should be back at the weekend with my SmackDown review. But yeah, so thanks for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.